every time I wanted to drink, I would step on this board and I would go outside and I would ride it. Every time I would get sad or depressed or anxious, I would get on this board and I would go out and ride it.
We are live, episode 19 of the eSKATE Chat podcast with Evolve. We're here today with a brand new ambassador. He's not new to the Evolve family or the eSKATE world in general. Please welcome Colorado Cadi.
What's up?
Why don't we jump in? Just tell us a bit about what you're doing with yourself now. Like, what's your life like? How do you skate? All those things.
Yeah, I'm Caddy. I'm from Colorado. I spend all day, every day riding or something to do with skateboards. It's basically been my whole life. For anyone that does follow me knows it's a daily thing. It's literally, this is my entire life. When people ask what I do, I tell them electric skateboarding is what I do. It's my entire life, you know?
Going back, like, obviously you haven't electric skateboarded your whole life because they didn't exist. What were you doing? You were doing normal skateboarding?
Yeah, so growing up out here, I've done a lot of snowboarding, did a lot of skateboarding and stuff growing up. I had some issues, had some things I worked through, and I ended up finding electric skateboarding about 4 years ago. And when I found it, I haven't been able to step off a board since. It's changed every aspect of my life for the best. I've done things I never thought I'd be able to do because of electric skateboarding. It's not just the boards in general, it's the whole community. It's everything to do with it. It's just where I fell in and where I finally found my place.
Outside of skateboarding, so people can get a bit of a vibe for sort of who you are, like, what do you do? What's your job, your family sitch?
Yeah. So what I do is, honestly, I've almost made a full-time job out of this. I work with a lot of local companies, a lot of local restaurants, things like that, local barber shops, just a lot of little mom and pop shops out here. We'll bring riders out to them. We'll do certain things like that, set up demos. I've dabbled in clothing and a lot of things like that. Skating is full time. That's what we do. That's what my entire family does. In and out of skate shops. I work with a lot of skate shops, so a lot of the stuff I do is part-time just so I can focus on creating content and skating more. I skate as much as I can. Every day I'm on a board, and that's literally what I do. I mean, we're a family of 5. All of us are into eSKATE. This is we run 2 to 3 group rides a week. It's something that's very, very busy. We do a lot of work on just everything. We're huge into this community.
That's what really caught my eye. I started with Evolve about 2.5 years ago, and the first thing I did was jump in and just go through every account, every YouTube account, every person I could find that was doing something, so I could get a vibe for what electric skateboarding was all about. And your name was there from the start. You know, you had the YouTube channel going. I remember going Colorado Cadi, SoCal Legend. All these guys have like these weird nicknames. Do you want to tell us how that came about?
Yeah. So Caddy was my second. Cadillac was my second word as a kid. So, and I've always been obsessed with the cars. There's a couple other family meanings to it, and it's just Cadillac's kind of always been my nickname. Colorado came with it because it's really funny. Up until I started getting into electric skateboarding, I never left Colorado. I've never been anywhere else. I love it here. I love Colorado Springs where I'm at. I love the Denver area. So everything associated with me was either Colorado or Cadillacs. I mean, my skateboards, I'll put little Cadillac emblems and stuff like that on them. It's just something that's really deep to me, something that means a lot to me. So it just ended up my name, and it kind of caught on. And a majority of the people you talk to won't end up knowing my real name. They'll just know me as Caddy, and this is even something locally here. everybody who knows me, that's what they know me as. They know me as Caddy.
What's unique about Colorado in both the place to live, but also skating?
So Colorado offers a lot of things that nowhere else really does. We have we do have winters that we have to deal with for a few months out of the year. But other than that, the weather out here is amazing. I mean, it's been a beautiful summer, it's a beautiful spring, a beautiful fall. It's it's about 9 months out of the year, 10 months out of the year, we can ride, we can skate. The terrain here is amazing. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles of trail, and that's just where I live alone. Denver's a whole nother thing. There's mountains. I can walk 3 miles from my house into a full-blown mountain setting, and I can go 3 miles from my house into downtown with a city. I don't think there's many places at all that are like that.
Do you find most of your riding is happening on sealed surfaces, or do you hit those off-road trails?
So I do enjoy off-road trails, but everybody who knows me knows I love street skating. I love urethane wheels. I'll skate pavement and sidewalks as much as I possibly can. If we're on group rides and they go a dirt route, I'll find a street that's right next to where they're at, and I can make it work for the most part. I do. I just enjoy riding. Period. Everything. All the terrain near my house is just perfect. I couldn't ask for a better place to skate.
Have you, since you've been doing this whole eSKATE thing, you've traveled a little bit, skated some other places. What are some standouts that you've gone to?
Oceanside, California, and San Diego were probably some of the coolest places I ever skated. I went to Los Angeles. I have a lot of love for everybody in Los Angeles. Everybody knows this. I really do love all you guys in California. Los Angeles is too busy for me. It's too. It's fun to skate. There's a lot of amazing spots to skate, but overall, it's not really my entire vibe. Oceanside is absolutely beautiful though.
You were telling me about skating with the normal longboard crew out in Colorado, like the non-motorized ones, and they let you rock up.
Yeah, so there's a big downhill scene. Shout out Noah, all them. And yeah, I mean, I've skated the highway with these guys. I've skated right out here, Gold Camp Road with these guys, and it's urethane wheels. They're on downhill decks. Most of the time, these guys don't want anything to do with electric boards, but the way we're pushing the limit of this sport is they're starting to see what we can actually do. They're starting to see, as opposed to electrics being something they didn't want around, now they're kind of, hey, let me play on that, let me see what it can actually do.
Yeah, I can imagine those guys, once they actually get on it, that would be the guys with the skill set to hold the slides and all that sort of stuff.
Exactly, and that's something I'm really rooting for. I've always been rooting for in electric skateboarding, is getting some more, even if it's not bringing more downhill guys into this. It's right now I think one of the biggest things a lot of people look at is top speed. Other than that, there's not much, in my opinion, that e-skaters are doing to set our sport apart. Like, we should be out there skating, and we should be out there doing slides, and we should be out there pushing the limits of what we can do with this sport and these boards, especially now that we have boards that are capable of doing things like this.
That sort of goes back to why I wanted you on the team, right? There's undeniably, you have this true passion and motivation for the people in the sport. It's very authentic. It comes across in all your videos. We get a lot of people saying, "Hey, can I have a free board?" But free boards are great, but that's not what it's about for you. And it really comes across in why you do what you do. What is sort of, I guess, how could you explain your passion for the community? Like, what do you get out of that?
Uh, um, what do I get out of it? I get friendships. I get my. So how do I explain? The only place this is the place. Electric skateboarding, the community, the sport, being on a board is is one of the few places in my life that I've made people proud. Building friendships, seeing how happy these people are when they get on a board, when they learn how to ride, when they call me 2 months later, Caddy, I just did this. It was so awesome. You should have seen it. It's super, super, super cool and super fulfilling to know that something can have an impact on somebody like that. My situation was a little bit different. This sport literally saved my life. I'm not saying it's going to save everybody's life, but what I can tell you is the smile it puts on 9 out of 10 people's faces is worth it every single day. When they ask, why do you guys do so much to put on these events and these group rides and put so much of your own into this? And that's why is it's not our own. It's this is our community. This is the friendship and the family that we've built around this. And that much I have the guys tell me every week, somebody else is telling me, hey man, if it wasn't for this group, like they have hard times, and our group rides is what people look forward to so that they can get away from their everyday problems and they have nothing else to focus on but the board under their feet. And it's amazing to be able to introduce people to something that's that incredible, that's life-changing, like skating is really life-changing.
100%. So we did this group ride out in Denver a couple weeks ago. We don't have anyone in Denver, so I messaged you. I said, hey mate, do you reckon you can give us a hand and put this thing together? And I'll tell you what, the crew turned out. There was heaps of people. It wasn't even your home city. So huge props to that. The Evolve crew that did fly out, they just said, look, this Caddy guy, he's so passionate, like he loves it, and everyone in the scene's got a tremendous amount of respect for you. So what you've been doing over those last couple of years, all paid off, and hopefully now with Evolve sort of behind you, we can elevate that. It'll be the same stuff you do, but let's be able to put on beers or food, whatever, for the people after, buy some pizzas, push it out to more people using the bigger marketing reach, and really just elevate it, take it all to the next level.
Yes. That's what I'm really, really excited about. It's been a dream of mine for a while to work with Evolve, to become an Evolve ambassador, to be able to represent a company that like you said, a company that shares the same passion I do. That's something that's really important to me, is being on a team where everybody loves this as much as I love this and wants this to grow, and just wants to push the boundaries. So this is probably this is an achievement of a lifetime for me to be able to work with you guys. So
no, and it's an honor for us to have you on board too. I think it's going to be awesome. Have you ever met Jeff, the owner?
I haven't met him face to face. I do have a old GT deck that is signed by Jeff, and SoCal Legend and a bunch of people signed my old GT deck. When Jeff Anning was in California a few years ago, I freaked out and had him sign I had SoCal get the deck signed. So yeah, I have a signed board by him, but I have not met the man face to face, and I can't wait.
When it comes to passion, that guy is very, very passionate.
Yeah, it comes through. It comes through in every video, everything I've seen with him, it comes through.
So the sort of people that turn out to the group rides, what's the demographic like? Who are you riding with?
That's the really cool part is we have plumbers in our group. We have lawyers in our group. We have professional skateboarders in our group. We have professional downhillers in our group. We have guys that own glass shops in our group. We have glass blowers in our group. We have the most mixed demographic you could ever have. But that's all of electric skateboarding in general. If you go anywhere and look at their groups, it's such a different mix of people. I make jokes all the time. I can't tell who does what at a group ride because everyone's in helmets and everything, and everyone's vibing around the boards. And when you finally find out what some of these people do, it's like, wow, that's really incredible. Like, you're waking up tomorrow and you're going to court as a lawyer, and you were just out here shredding with us. You know, like it's incredible. It's super, super cool.
Yeah, shared passion, bringing people together. That's what community is, I guess. How do you think how do you think electric skateboard sort of resonates for sort of that 30, 40 year old guy, the middle-aged family man? Um, how does that hobby fit into their life?
How does it get into their lives? They see a board and it reminds them of skating. I mean, a lot of the guys in that age bracket is they just want to have fun again. You know, it's getting out and having fun. Whether it be knee problems, whether it be back problems, whether it be kids and not enough time. I mean, kick pushing will always have a place in my heart. Like OG skateboarding, actually getting on a board and pushing it out. But I mean, let's be honest. A lot of us have families and jobs and kids, and to keep up not only the leg strength but the skill set it takes to keep kick pushing all these miles all the time, it's just something that a lot of us older skaters, we lost that, you know, because we haven't had time. So when you can get on a board, an electric board, and evolve and even just scoot to the gas station, it brings back that thrill and that feeling of being 16, 17 years old again and going out with your friends and skateboarding, you know?
Yeah, I think the time factor is a big one because, you know, you could be into your motocross or your car racing or whatever, but that involves a lot more servicing, putting the vehicle on a trailer, going out somewhere. There's so much to do those hobbies, and a lot of people do that as well. But being able to roll out your front door, even if it's a 4 mile skate, like a short little blast, clear the head, I think that's a big reason we see a lot of people get into it because of the accessibility of eSKATE.
Like you said, even if it's just a 4 mile skate, just to get out and skate, the accessibility of it is beyond anything else, really. I mean, it's skateboarding. We're skateboarding with remotes and motors and batteries now. It's the future. We're in the future.
I took a bit of a dive into your YouTube channel, but I didn't want to go too deep because I thought it'd be best just to have a chat to you about it and you know, rather than watch your videos. There was a bunch of stuff on there about some of the challenges that you have faced sort of in your life. Do you want to talk about that?
I mean, yeah, I'm definitely willing to. It's something I do talk about on my YouTube. It's that's when I say electric skate. How much can I say? I mean, like, okay, so long story short is, yeah, about 4.5 years ago, 5 years ago, I was living in and out of dumpsters. I was legit homeless. I had a really bad drinking problem. I had drank away every opportunity at anything I ever had. I beat myself up for a really long time about it. I spent about a decade like this. Like I said, up until about 5 years ago. I just decided I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't drink like that anymore. I'd met my wife, and just a lot of things were changing. I just couldn't do it anymore. And everyone was worried. I had went through this before. I wanted to quit and I couldn't. Everyone was worried I was going to drink again. And we got an electric skateboard. My wife found an electric skateboard for me, and I got one. And every time I wanted to drink, I would step on this board and I would go outside and I would ride it. Every time I would get sad or depressed or anxious, I would get on this board and I would go out and ride it. And I would come back, and while I was charging, I would do what everybody does when they first get into eSKATE. I would watch YouTube. I would watch YouTube on videos of things that I thought were fun and that things of this. And then I figured, you know what? I could do this, and I could do a YouTube channel, and maybe I could tell people that if somebody gets an electric skateboard, maybe it'll help with their depression or their mental health or an addiction problem or whatever underlying issue it may be. This did something huge for me. This did something that nothing, for almost 30 years, nothing could do for me until I found this. So I figured I couldn't be the only person in the world it could affect this positively. And I said from the beginning, I still say it in my videos now, if I gain 1 million subscribers, or if I gain 1,000, whatever it is, if I can affect one person throughout all of this, it's worth it. You know? And I truly do think that electric skateboarding plays a big part in mental health. I think it helps people tremendously. I ride with a lot of vets. I ride with a lot of people that have been through a lot of stuff, that this helps them a lot. So, yeah, that's another reason I'm so passionate about it. I mean, it's something incredible. It's beyond just getting on a board and riding it, you know?
It's, yeah, truly inspiring. And it's not going to be the same. Everyone's not going to have the same issues or problems to face in their life. And it might not be an electric skateboard that is the right answer, but it's worth a try. In your experience, what's the importance of sort of replacement or finding a new vice, that sort of outlet?
I think it's insanely important. I tell people a lot of time, like, you don't have to be an addict to understand some of the points of recovery. Recovery is not always necessarily, people hear recovery and they think it's about drinking or drugging. Recovery could be anything to do with PTSD, anything to do with, it's recovery from something bad to something good. And having a hobby, having a sport, having a passion, having something to dump that amount of whatever's going on inside of you, to dump that into, it's insanely important. It should be on top of people's priority list for sure. Mental health should always be on top of people's priority list, but having a hobby or having a sport or something you can put your anger, your frustration, and everything into, it's super important.
It's great. We love seeing you doing your bit to share that story. And we've done a few things about it in the past as well, made a few videos. So we're behind you when you need it on that front as well.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys 100%.
Being in Colorado, you said you get into some snowboarding?
Yeah. We have Breckenridge, Monarch, Aspen, Vale, all that's within Keystone, all that's within like 3 hours from here. So,
A lot of people ask, how would you describe the differences and similarities between e-skating and snowboarding? What's the same? What's different?
carving. Um, Carving is the same and it's different, but the feeling, the adrenaline, that just free flowing, that's all very similar. I guess it depends on if you're on street wheels or ATs, but stopping can be similar and the same. I stop an e-skate like I stop a snowboard. If I'm on street wheels, I don't use brakes. I slide to a stop every time. But if you take an all-terrain board and ride it through some trees and all that stuff, it feels so much like snowboarding. It's insane. It really is. And I think that's another reason why a lot of us out here are so drawn to e-skates.
Do you find that throughout the summer, because you are e-skating, when you go back in wintertime, you're sort of straight back into it? There's a bit of muscle memory there?
I think muscle, it definitely keeps everything loose. It keeps everything worked out for either season. I mean, for snowboarding or for skating, and especially when it comes into e-skating, it's basically coming down to you're using your core, you're using your upper thighs, you're using all this. So yeah, it's basically about the same muscle, so it keeps you good.
What are some dreams or goals you have for your e-skate scene in Colorado? Like, what would you like to see happen over the next 1, 2, 3 years?
Hey, so that's incredible that you asked that. I wanted to grow a group that was 100 plus members, active members inside of this city. That happened. I wanted to become an Evolve ambassador. And I wanted to see my whole family riding boards. So all of my major e-skate goals that I could think of have happened. So what I want to do now is so we do a lot of work. We do a lot of work with like the homeless and with stuff like that out here. I want to get that, a couple of those rides a little bit bigger. I'd love to see our group at least double by next summer. I think that that's something we can do. We have new moderators, new admins. We just threw in there, so they're doing a great job of organization and everything like that. My wife is a huge help, huge contributor. So honestly, I want to see our scene grow here in Colorado, and I want to see scenes like New York and some things in the UK. I want to see legislation change. Um, I don't want to see these laws get passed where they get anything banned. So I guess now what it's time to do is I'm always going to stay 100% focused. My group is my family. Growing here in Colorado is big, but I want to help a little bit with the bigger picture as well, with helping the guys in New York with whatever we can do to come together as a community to show everyone that we're not just a bunch of idiots riding fast things through the streets, you know?
Yeah, cool. On the group side of things, what we'll do is we can segment out everyone from a certain area. So what we'll do when we put out this podcast, we'll send out a local thing about your group to everyone within 200 miles or something, and say, hey, this is your group. Go on here. This is where the group rides are happening. That'll boost some numbers.
That's incredible. Yeah.
And then also in the link of this, everyone, he's got the YouTube channel, Instagram, all that. We'll put it in the description, and we'll send it out with the email too, so people can check out what you're doing personally and keep up to date. So that'll be, I mean, that works for everyone, because then everyone's seeing the group rides, everyone's seeing the stuff. So hopefully that gets the ball rolling. And then onto the events. Oh man, we have big plans for the USA. Like we've just done that little tour. We want to pick up, do more racing, do more demonstrations, do more group rides. So yeah, all that stuff will happen. So go back to that goals list and aim high, and we'll see what we can make it happen.
Yeah, I'd love to, like I said, I'd love to see some races. I'd love to see races happen. I'd love to see World Cup come here. Bring World Cup back.
When the Australian government lets us out, then
or let's do a United States Cup.
I think a US Open would be probably the go-to.
Everyone's been itching for it.
Yeah. I think where we did it in California a couple years ago, they're open to doing that again. We have a go-kart track, we have BMX tracks, we have all the stuff in Carlsbad. So a US Open,
yes,
that could be cool. That could be cool.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
Yeah, and something else we've been working on, we've started in the UK to deal with their winters, is we hire out these go-kart tracks. So when it's wet and cold, we let people go and ride there. We do a 3-hour session, and it's not racing. It's just completely chill vibes. You go, you skate. It doesn't matter what you ride. Just bring whatever you have that's electric and jam out for a couple hours.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got any locations like that around where you are, but come the depths of winter.
Yeah, we have a few.
Yeah, well, let's talk about it.
Let's do it. Yeah. There's a couple spots, Overdrive Raceway. Yeah, I can think of a few off the top of my head that would love to do something like that.
Sounds rad. Is there anything else you sort of wanted to talk about while we have you on the podcast?
The US, I want to get a race, like you said, like a US Open or something. And I don't know. I'm just so pumped. I'm so pumped to be part of things, and this whole community. Like, I'm just super stoked. When all the Evolve riders see this, I love you guys. I'm super stoked. You guys know what's up. All you guys who know me, I love all you guys super, super much. Yeah, that's it. I just want to tell everybody, like everybody, every single person who has supported this over the last 4 years, and who has watched any video of mine or watched any story of mine or anything to do with any of that. I love you guys, and I cannot thank everyone enough. My wife, my family, I couldn't do this without any of them. so yeah, that's it. I'm really, really excited to see where the future goes. I'm really excited to show everyone what evolve, what this all is. You know, like it's the sport's growing and it's growing rapidly, and I'm really excited to be part of it.
Awesome. Well, there you have it, guys. Colorado Caddy, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Get your daily dose of just good vibes. If you just want to see someone stoking out on sharing the passion, he's your man. That'll do us, man. Stay tuned to what's going to happen with some group rides, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.